Welcome to another video with Joseph Manifesting. Happy New Year to you guys. I trust and pray many blessings for you all. And in today's video, we are going to talk about the power of thinking from our desired end instead of thinking of. Now, this is powerful when manifesting an SP, as you'll notice a lot of the times when you're thirsting or wanting or obsessing, this is always a sign that you're thinking of being in a loving relationship. When you are in a loving relationship and thinking from it, that's your perspective, that's the way you see the world, you will notice that thirst goes away, that obsession goes away, that wanting goes away, as you can't want something that you have. You can simply enjoy experiencing it. I'm going to start off with a quote out of Neville's book, The Power of Awareness, Chapter 2, Dwell Therein. If we live in the dream, thinking from it and not of it, then the creative power of imagining will answer our adventurous fancy, and the wish fulfilled will break in upon us and take us unaware. Man is all imagination, therefore, man must be where he is in imagination, for his imagination is himself. To realize that imagination is not something tied to the senses or enclosed within the spatial boundary of the body is most important. So, your imagination, think of it like this. Anything that you have ever imagined, you first placed your imagination there before your body went there. This happened for both ideal situations and unideal situations. You will notice every time that you placed yourself, whether through inner talking, thinking from what it is that you didn't want, or you were imagining things that you didn't want, unideal outcomes, you placed yourself in imagination there first. And then what happened was the body followed. And the interesting thing, often after we have these circumstances happen to us, we're like, we had no control over everything that just happened. And as Neville says, we don't. What we have control over is our ideas and feelings. However, how everything unfolds, we have no control over of. So many times when people are going through a separation with SP in the outside reality, there's a series of events and they say, well, I never imagined that all these things would happen. No, but the end was imagined. We were imagining losing the relationship. We were imagining things going bad. And then as a result, how it happened is outside of our control. That's the father's part. That's what the father does, right? That's the how. We went to the end and we dwelled there, even though it wasn't something that we wanted. Okay. Now, to be in a loving relationship, then I must do the exact same thing. I must place myself in imagination ahead of what my 3D is showing me. So imagine here for a second that whatever you thought needed to happen 3D wise happened. You're now in a loving relationship. You're now in it. It is now something that is a fact. Watch the route that your attention takes. You can notice this when you see people that are in a relationship. What automatic thoughts come to you about that? Does it make you miss your SP? And does it make you think about all the good times that you used to have, which is implying that you don't have a relationship, you used to? Or when you see them, does it remind you of your ideal relationship? When you hear a song on the radio about a love song, does it remind you of how much you love your person and how amazing your relationship is? Or does it make you sad because it reminds you of all the good times that you had? When you're interacting with people, are you conscious of the fact that you're in a relationship? Because there's little speech movements that happen like this within us all day long, right? When we're not aware of being in a loving relationship, then when we go and talk with somebody, we're like, oh shoot, I hope this person doesn't talk about my relationship, which is implying I am not in the state of being in a loving relationship. Now, vice versa, when I'm in the state of being in a loving relationship, although I may not see any outside proof, I am not at all even remotely going to think about the fact that I care if they ask me about my relationship or what am I going to say about it, right? It just naturally flows. I'm in a loving relationship. So how do I place myself there? There's several ways. And now the thing that I want to share that's really important is that imagine that you're in a loving relationship as often as possible. If you woke up in the morning and you were by yourself, no, you weren't. Revise it and you woke up next to your specific person. All throughout the day, you didn't get a text. No, you didn't. Revise it and see that you're getting texts all day long. See that, imagine that you're already experiencing what it is that you want to experience. You know from experience that when you want something, what you get is more wanting. And so what we must do is imagine that we now have it. use revision, use thinking from you already have it. Now what? How is the relationship now? How do you behave now? How amazing are they to you now? How do they show you they love you now? Think thoughts here. And now here's the thing. When we're just affirming without actually feeling these things or internalizing them, we literally want to embody these affirmations. We want to embody this state of being in a loving relationship. So for a lot of people, these affirmations don't work because they're just vain repetition. They're not actually trying to become what that affirmation implies. They're not merging with it. It's almost as if it's wishful thinking. So we have to actually put ourselves in the perspective of being this person, not trying to be the person, but actually being the person. And again, so we imagine that we are now the person. We see the world from the perspective of being that person. And watch as when you actually embody the state, you will naturally start imagining things that's in harmony with the state. You will naturally start having thoughts that's in harmony with this state. And it happens automatically because you are merging your consciousness with this state. This is why I don't believe in healing things or releasing things or any of the stuff. I believe in release and identification, but I don't believe in that I need to heal, because all that I'm experiencing all day long is states of consciousness that I've occupied in the past that periodically come up. As Neville says, we go through many different states throughout our day. So I don't need to fix the state. I don't need to release a state. I don't need to do anything with the state. I simply just leave this state. And how do I do this? Neville talks about this in his fundamentals: self-observation, attachment to my aim, and detachment from unlovely states. That is how I create heaven on earth. When I have these states that before I used to identify with, or that have been part of what states that I've embodied, I move out of those states by no longer thinking in relation to them, by no longer giving them my attention. Indifference severs the power of that state, because without our awareness of it or thinking from it, it has no power in and of itself. And so I remove myself from that state, and then I place myself on my deal. And I do this by thinking thoughts from the vision already realized, or asking myself, what would the feeling be like? Because I'll catch myself. If I can feel the feeling, then I will naturally think thoughts from the wish fulfilled. Guys, if you guys enjoy doing like a Neville study, or you want to do a Neville study where I can pull up this complete reader and we can start reading some wonderful Neville stuff, and I can break it down for you if you think that would be helpful, leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are on that. As I was thinking about that this morning, I think it would be lovely for people. I know I can never read enough Neville. So before I end this video, one more time. So all we are doing is we are placing ourselves in imagination where we want to go in the flesh, because before we experience anything, we are always there first in our imagining. Everything that we experience is states. And so all I want to do is place myself in the state of now being in a loving relationship and think from that state. I can do this by simply going, okay, what would I be thinking if I was now in a loving relationship? How would I be looking at this person? And don't do this with being, paying attention to the outside reality. Do this within. This is inner talkings, right? Because this is how you create naturally anyways. You're not thinking, oh, I'm thinking this, so this creates this. You're just thinking this and you're caught up in your internal world and happen to identify with the state that then creates. So think thoughts from the wish fulfilled, or ask yourself, what would the feeling be like? And put yourself into that emotional state, and then you will naturally have thoughts from the wish fulfilled. You'll notice, because the way that you see the world, when you listen to songs, when you see other couples, when you're thinking of yourself in your home, are you aware of living with your person, or are you aware of living by yourself? There's so many different little subtle ways that you know what state you're in. You have continuous inner speech that's happening. And also, you'll notice your mood. Neville talks about your mood will determine the experiences of your day. And this is why I'm so big on being in that state of love and gratitude, is because I know that when I stay in this state, those are the experiences that I end up experiencing. I trust today's video was helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please do subscribe, like, share, comment. It does help get this information to other people, and it helps me continue to get this information out to everybody that needs it. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.